Delegate Patrick Hope, and welcome back to your Week 5 legislative update from Richmond. I want to talk to you about a couple issues that have occurred this week that's really dominated most of the week. The first one is the budget. The House passed out its proposed budget this year, and it was a pretty good budget with really one glaring exception, and that was involving the Medicaid expansion. As you know, I'm very supportive of Virginia expanding Medicaid to the fullest level under the Affordable Care Act, up to 133% of the federal poverty line. This would mean over 400,000 Virginians who don't have insurance right now, who are uninsured, would get insurance coverage. And I strongly support that. And I led the fight in the House among House Democrats to put stronger language in the House budget that would allow us to expand by 2014, which is what the federal government of the Affordable Care Act allows. Unfortunately, that amendment failed, and what we have remaining in the House budget is a lot of hurdles in order to get to expanding Medicaid. Under the House proposed budget, I'm sad to say, we will not expand Medicaid coverage to those 400,000 families until, at the earliest, July of 2015, a whole year and a half before when we could do that. And I'm very disappointed in that. We will lose about $3 billion in benefits that will go to through our economy, to our hospitals, to our doctors, and to our other providers caring for the uninsured. And I'm disappointed in that. However, there is a very bright spot. On the Senate side, they did pass their budget that did expand Medicaid, and it has a much easier pathway in order for us to get there. They also require some reforms to the Medicaid program, which I fully support, and all of it is contingent on the federal government still giving a generous match to provide for the new enrollees. But it's a much straighter pathway to get there. It passed on a bipartisan vote of 36-4. There's very strong support for it. So right now, we take the House language and the Senate language, and they'll go into a conference committee, and they will hammer out their differences. And I need your support to make sure you influence the senators and any House members that you know of that sit on that conference committee to let them know how important it is that we have come out with an agreement that's closer to what the Senate looks like. We have to expand Medicaid coverage. Too much is at stake. There's too much lives at stake for us not to do it. And I hope you will help me do that. That is my highest priority in this session. That is to expand Medicaid coverage, and I need your help in order to do that. The second issue, major issue that happened this week was the House passed a transportation bill. I voted against the transportation bill because it is fundamentally flawed in many areas. It completely eliminates the gas tax, this ultimate user fee. It completely eliminates it, and it shifts all those costs over to increasing sales taxes. The sales tax, as you know, is a regressive tax. It severely weakens and hurts people who are poor, and their incomes are paying more on different items that they need to survive. And that burden for transportation will be shifted significantly over to people in the poor areas. The other part of it is a third of the financing relies on a phony gimmick in the hope and a prayer that the U.S. Congress will pass an internet tax, which they've been talking about for over a decade and have decided against. But it relies in hopes that Congress will pass this, which is unlikely that they'll do. And the other flaw in the transportation plan is that it robs money out of our general fund, which funds our schools, it funds our public safety, and it funds our health care. And it takes too much money away from those programs. I oppose taking money away from schools and public safety and health care just to pave our roads. We need a dedicated funding source. And so I voted against it. I hope that the Senate can amend it and make it better before I vote on a transportation plan that hurts poor people and robs our schools and our healthcare system. Well, that's this week's update. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact my office or check out what's going on here in Capitol Square. You can go to my website at hopeforvirginia.org. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.